Quickly, does anyone remember what episode we're on?
It should be episode 7.
Yeah.
I think it might be 6. Because I was an episode ahead when I went to upload. I realised that I was like episode 5. So it might be 6. Anyway, I don't know what episode we're on. I should check these. Here's me telling everybody else to be ready and I'm got fuck off. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this week's episode of the Pokemon Olympia League Podcast, where we talk about everything that we like about Pokemon and nothing about memes, honest.
Yes.
Today I've got me, Master of Enemies, Robert Allen, the guy that does everything because he's tuned that way. To my left is the very good UNG Mackie.
Hello, I'm here.
To his left we have Craig or Josh. It's up to them really.
So stealth rock.
Aye. And then finally to the far right, or directly in front of me at this point, is Josh, our friend. How are you today, Josh?
I'm good.
So this week I want to focus on
7 here.
I was
7.
right.
It
It
sure
is 7.
Right. It's episode 7, ladies and gentlemen, because Ewan was right.
As usual.
Right. Okay, so the first part of the Pokemon World Leagues, well, sorry, I'm trying to remember what they call it again. The international, Pokemon International Tournaments for London. Or the Europe versions for London. The naming system escapes me, but basically they had a really good VGC tournaments and TCG tournaments, but we won't be touching any of that TCG crap because that's for people who like cards and that's probably
the card game.
But yeah, so
It's just complicated.
something ridiculous like 500 people descended on London from all over the world to play in Sun and Moon's effectively first like official tournament on the new rules. So.
The game's just been out.
I know, we're talking like 2 weeks for the UK players, and we got two UK players in top 8 as well.
Fair enough.
So
yeah.
they put in a lot of work just to be ready for this. Assuming they didn't just cheat like Verlicify was calling people out.
Oh
for.
well, see, there's the other thing though. You have to wonder. The game's been out for about 2 weeks, maybe a bit more for the rest of the world. And there's
Nintendo.
videos online, people doing battles and things like that. And there's a full team of shinies. You're kidding if the odds for you to get a fully competitive team, all shiny, are just almost impossible in that amount of time. You know?
We'll leave a video on cheating to another day because I think we could cover like a whole episode just on
if
that.
anyone's listening, probably not, but if anyone is listening, it's not difficult to breed now. Game Freak have made this easier and easier. If you're still struggling and you have to cheat, then you shouldn't really be playing the game. You know?
There you go.
You can't play it through your own merit and your own means, then don't play it. Just find something else to do. Get laid or something, you know, it's better than...
I am a bit more
Better than
morally
cheat.
grey. I use a 6 IV Ditto, so there you go. I'll do that.
Like that, you can get away with that.
Technically that's still cheating because it's Pokemon created. I read the rules. It's Pokemon created from Gender. But considering people take flagrantly modded, like hexed Pokemon straight to Worlds and get in.
The other thing when people are almost like, it was up on Twitter about the PK hex and things like that. And they're
There's
going,
a guy hexing
can anyone
at
get that?
London.
Can anyone get that ready for? And I think, play the game properly. You're just taking away everything from it. Your skill should not only be the strategy of battling, it should be the preparation of the team itself.
Yes.
You heard it here first. See, when you've got guys like moaning about it, or like guys, PokeTubers like Verlicify moaning about it, which I can agree, and I know why he's angry. Then you've got other people who just openly hack things for a laugh, like they'll do like metronome battles. That's funny, that's fine. None of them should be used in competitive anyway. And then you've got people openly cheating and admitting it and being like, yeah, I cheat. And I think, well, I'm better than you then, even if I'm not a world champion, because I bred for what I've got and I trained it up. And I had to work for it, which means I'm better. And if they want to come to Scotland and argue about it, I'll gouge their eyes out and skull fuck them. So that's the end of that.
Well, okay.
Yes.
So to all the competitors who didn't cheat, well, big props, because as I say, like over 500 people turned up and went through some grueling sets.
Yeah.
They played Swiss, like 5 rounds of it over 2 days. Like guys were putting in, by the end of it, the top 8 had all clocked in like 14 games. Like now, considering that that's like 2 out of 3, and they were played like a 50-minute time limit per game to try and get like two wins in that. I mean, it was ridiculous. That being said, from the games that I watched, and I've focused mainly on the top 8, a lot of people played through fairly quickly. But there were a couple of games that I saw where stall was a real problem, and that's something I'm going to get to, particularly with the top 8 and its usage. So yeah, as I say, I focused mostly on the top 8, so I'm going to be talking mostly about those guys here. But we had 2 UK players whose names I should have really written down, but I didn't because I'm horrible at this. And we had 2 Italian players as well.
I think so.
There was either 2 Italian. Don't shake the mic
I think there was some.
because we're trying to record you. Yeah.
You're talking about Pokemon.
Well, come
What
join us.
about B Dyson?
I'm getting to B Dyson.
B Dyson.
Dyson. There's a caster called Kay Dyson who's become a bit of a Bay Dyson. She was wonderful, knowledgeable, and she was like funny. No, this is the thing. I genuinely enjoyed watching it when she was on.
You think girls can't play games?
That's right. Josh giggling at himself. Girls play video games. Next, they'll be getting to make their own decisions, Josh? Fucking hell.
And then the year after that, they get their vote.
That's right, aye. Yeah. First they get to make their own decisions, then they get to vote, Josh. What kind of world are you living in? Anyway, Kate Dyson was fucking soon, and she had a lot of useful information, and she was actually quite fun. Like, I enjoyed watching her podcast, and it was almost as awkward as watching Ryan Hart give interviews, which literally followed this. Hello, I'm Ryan Hart. You did the Pokemon thing. Foreign player. What? You did the Pokemon thing. What? I did. Back to you, Caster. That's every single interview that he did. And the other thing I noticed was he was really, really fucking tall. Yeah. Reinhardt is tall, and Reinhardt is shilling himself out to Nintendo for a paid job, which I'm happy with because I would be doing the same.
Yeah. Gives hope to all fighting game guys that they can get jobs in Pokemon. So I'm happy.
That's right. So the top 8 was pretty spectacular with a lot of usage from a lot of new Pokemon there. One of my favourites.
Oh, sorry, no, continue.
One of my favourites to see was Celesteela showing up.
Yeah.
Although I was a little disappointed to see how he was used, because I knew he was coming in going to be bulky and have a lot of resistances and things, but I wasn't expecting him to just be a horrible stall. And if there's one thing I hated about the top 8, it was stall.
See, that's. I think if you're going to stall, and this is coming from me, who used to do it an awful lot, and find the weirdest ways to stall, and I've always, if you're going to stall, at least do it in a way that like there's some people that would try and stall with, like, for example, Togekiss, and they just do that. They've got Roost, then you've got Air Slash and Thunderwave.
Well, like Jack did.
Yes, and that's kind of, it's almost impossible to get by, but there's not a level of sportsmanship in it. I mean, that can be a good win condition, but just like I was discussing the level of stall. Now, for anyone who's listening, I don't have Sun or Moon. That's supposed to be a Christmas present. However, I've been putting together a team on Alpha Sapphire, and I realised that my defensive core is stall worthy, but in a totally different way, and it's more of a boosting stall, and it's almost like a bait and a switch. Again, something I really like doing is letting people think they know, or bluffing a certain set and then proving them wrong.
That's right.
So my main core, and I think that could probably work on any, it could still work in Sun and Moon when we get to it. I've got a Poliwrath and Magnezone core. Poliwrath is a rest talking Poliwrath with bulk up and waterfall holding leftovers.
Yep.
People might say that's not the best way to use it. You should have Swift Swim on it. I think no, it's got water absorb, because there's things coming in like a Lapras or something like that, you know.
One of the most used Pokemon was Gastrodon.
Yeah.
Because it had a Storm Drain.
Yeah.
So it was scaring people off from going for burns and things.
Yeah.
So
if you think
really
about it, they can't burn my Poliwrath, and if anyone tries to burn them, he's got the rest talk. Been invested in both defences and in hit points. It's got actually 95 or 90 across the board. I could be wrong, but the stats are in the 90 anyway for his defences, which is really, really good. Once I get a couple of bulk up boosts, not unless something has water absorb, nothing else wants to take boosted attacks. However, if someone was to bring in say like a water absorb or dry skin Pokemon, they've got to then kind of execute something to take rid of Poliwrath. And if he's already boosted defensively, I can just keep resting until they go away. The other part of the core, the Magnezone, is Charge Beam, Flash Cannon, and then rest. And everyone's saying, hey, why rest? Because I put a Chesterberry on it with Recycle.
Is everybody really saying that though?
Not really, no. I think they're just expecting it to be specs or something like that.
Yeah.
My whole point is that this is stall in a different way. This is more of a boosting stall, which means I can stay around, and if anything is coming in that I've either paralysed or burned or toxic, they've got to contend with that, and it means a lot of switching out. And I've already had a Jigglypuff, not Wigglytuff even, to put up Stealth Rock, so that's going to take a lot of damage off of people switching in and out, because they have
Stealth Rock.
Yeah, and exactly, I said Stealth Rock.
Craig is activated at the thought of Stealth Rock there.
But my point here is that's a more creative style. If you just stick Toxic on something, sit there and boost, and then just heal, that's like Pukamuku.
Like
the way
minimise muck I've run it a few times, which is a mess for me.
I mean, the minimise muck that I've run has been Stockpile, Minimise, Shadow Sneak, and Power Up Punch, because it's got Poison Touch, so it doesn't have to worry about this. Now, it's only holding, what is that? black sludge.
Yeah.
It's holding black sludge, so that means it only gets a little bit of recovery. And there's always that lucky hit. And I was going to say about the VGC as well, is that regardless of how much how much you're able to do things in the game, how capable you are, hacks can sometimes just give you a bad day.
Yeah.
You can be the best player in the world,
That happened,
and someone can critically hit you, get the burn, and on the next turn you go down. And
Wait, are there
Yeah.
not checks now? Because there was checks last year, wasn't there, for hacks?
No, he means hacks as in like when the RNG.
when
I
it's
know, but
just,
yeah,
when
when
the
the
RNG
RNGs
gods
Oh,
are there,
like
because
that,
there's
okay.
times where like and I always
It
remember.
happened in top 8 actually.
I'll always remember that time you had your full steel team, and it was just giving me constant headaches at min-max. And then I thought, right, the airborne division, that was my full flying team, would take on your steel team, and I thought I was going to get gubbed. And I just watched as on the other side of the room, Robert giggled and laughed his way through a complete almost defeat of his team, because the RNG just kicked his ass so hard that he was like, as soon as I picked up my DS, I had no chance. It wasn't because I had a brilliant team, it's because he just got hacked out completely.
Pokemon is one of those rare things. It seems to be a Nintendo thing that they seem to be able to build a very competitive following around random, like a game that has randomness as a mechanic.
Yeah.
And I hate it. I hate random. I like if I hit a button, a thing should happen. That's how I roll.
That's how it is.
That's
and
just
I
how the
think
game plays.
that's why somebody who's picked up the game and I've got a full team of legendaries can beat you with your fully EV'd and IV'd team with strategies. And that's another thing, you don't want to try and make your strategies work. But sometimes people can get complacent when you think, right, this is obviously somebody who's not this good, that great at the game. I'm going to try out this strategy and see if it works. And when it all blows up in your face, you're kind of like, okay, that shouldn't have happened. I'm not playing this game, it's stupid. But I think with Worlds, there's an example, is that there was a degree of, well, from what I saw, there was a degree of just luck in some places.
As I was mentioning earlier, I think it was in the first couple of matches of top 8, there was like burns and freezing a couple of times coming out.
Yeah,
which was
and
just
especially because of this snow warning Ninetales as well. And I think I realised that when I had my full ice team in Oras, it was a lot of fun to use because double blizzard had such a great freeze chance. And that seems to just happen like whenever now, just for fun.
now a few.
Blizzard.
Hail got a big buff this generation, which is good. That Aurora Veil, the new move that works in Hail, it's like gives you a
Aurora
boost,
Veil, yeah.
like it reduces defense. Right. Thanks. I say my wife letting me know that my tea's getting cold, so I'll pop over and grab that in a wee bit. Where was I? Oh yeah, aye. So I mean, ice. There's a lot of more use for hail now, particularly through like snow warning and sludge rush and things like that coming in, really making it useful. It still hasn't seen the use I was expected to see now, but we're early in the meta, so there's every chance things are going to change. Particularly, with the prevalence of steel just now, I expect to see more, answers to that, more fighting, more fire. It's just kind of, just try to see where it'll go. There'll be a lot of people, myself included, that'll be looking to see what the next sort of international is going to have, just to see how people respond to how teams came out here.
What I liked to see with what you've shown me is a lot of people there's a lot of varied things in teams, but now you've got weather to play with, you've got terrains to play with, you've got something like Trick Room to play with, but you've also got ways you can set up teams. Like people will still run, there's always going to be some smart aleck running a monotype team, but a lot of things can feed off themselves, like even the theme of Water Absorb being on everything on the team, eventually when everything's available, but right now things can still be like, again, you can still theme a team completely around using grassy terrain, like was your plan many years ago with X and Y.
Well, it's actually more, it works more now because there's Tapu Bulu, who places it when you come out, and it gets a lot of synergy with things, particularly just anything on the ground takes advantage. But for me right now, what I've been seeing it synergizing with is a Alolan Marowak, that hero that I've been championing for everybody, because grassy terrain halves the damage from Earthquake, and you're already going to be taking double damage off that, so having a bulky Marowak out there in grassy terrain is suddenly very dangerous. So there's a lot of, the two main terrains that I saw, well, I say three, you got Tapu Bulu, Tapu Lily and Tapu Koko. So you got grassy terrain, electric terrain, which everybody was expecting from Koku, and then Tapu Lele. Tapu Lele was seeing a lot of shutting down priority on the psychic terrain, but also boosting 50% on its psychic attacks. So that made that quite a scary Pokemon. I saw that a few times in London.
Here's another thing, if I think about playing on Showdown, when I've seen Tapu Lele, and I've thought, right, I used to always prepare for priority in VGC last year, and I had what's that bloody thing called, Meowstic, to go, nope, quick guard, and it was probably the fastest quick guard in the whole game, saying you cannot use Brave Bird, Talonflame, and you Kangas can. You can't be using that fake out. But now I've not been seeing that, and I've had enough time to go, well, what they're going to do, they're going to try and hit my monkey with a fan, or they're going to try and hit this huge rock thing with a beard, let's see, and they'll be able to protect. So I've got a totally different lineup when I've been playing, but as I've found everyone else who's looking to cut out priority, if they come up against my team, we've got priority hidden in the back somewhere, we don't have it out front. So once they think I'm running a slow bulky Trick Room team, the priority's waiting in the back for them, so hopefully Tapu Lele can be removed from the field. But even then, I used to rely on priority and priority being stopped. Now I'm more taking a sit back role and waiting to set up first turn, whereas you took on my VGC team, first turn was just water spout, Choice Scarf Kyogre, water spout.
In the 2016 meta, that was efficient. There was such a lean towards hyper offense that I really liked. Oh, there's Jordan. He's gonna be disappointed when I tell him I don't have his comics because I forgot them.
No.
So that'll be amusing. But yeah, so there's definitely a lean more to bulk, and the stall part I'm not as keen on, but definitely slower bulky Pokemon taking advantage of being able to set up more, or using like stat boosting or grass terrain boosts. Cool. King Fighters 14. I don't know
Fighters hidden within a Doom box.
Yeah, I don't know whose copy that is, but it's somebody's. I'll figure that out. But yeah, so there's a lot more options. You don't just have to focus on doing the most damage, which I like. The only downside to that is that as you get closer, and as I found in the finals, you run the risk of being stuck in a stall war, and that's just really it's not something I'm looking forward to. So hopefully we'll start seeing more consistent answers. I mean, Celesteela and Leech Seed are suddenly the worst thing. I just saw that,
even,
and I thought
even ahead of Ferrothorn as well.
Yes. Well, it's a better Ferrothorn. It's got better
it's
stats.
Flying Ferrothorn.
But the surprises for me, Tapu Lele, was things, for example, like people running Porygon 2, Porygon 2 and Eviolite is like a big, it's everywhere. As much as Oranguru's got Instruct and things, it can be more offensive. It's the closest we've got to Cresselia at the moment.
Yeah.
It's bulky, it can still do damage, but it can still serve its primary role. Or you can fake someone out and make them think that you're going to run Trick Room, but you can actually Scarf it, and it still hits hard. So there's there's people doing all sorts with it and trying to upset what people are expecting.
It's really good to see. I think it's not so much a downside, but if I think about anything that we've seen last year for VGC, I'm still playing the game like it's still VGC 2016 and prepping, just expect, not that there's going to be any primal Groudons, but remembering how hyper offensive it was, and Stall was something I could do if I juggled out Golduck and Eviolite Frillish. They could keep Golduck was able to soak Groudon, and then Frillish could burn it, and I would just watch as it just slowly lost its health. But I could do that to almost everything. They worked really well as a core. We had problems against grass and electric, but we could switch protect, and it was almost like a Russian roulette game of who's going to protect, who's going to attack, who's going to soak the next thing that comes, who's going to try and burn it. That was handy. I don't think they're laughing because a fly has landed on the microphone. Go away, fly, you're not on this podcast. Oh, actually I hit it. Sorry, fly, but you need to go away. Now I can't think of Stall as a good idea. The only thing I've been using is Spore and Trick Room from Shinotic, putting things to sleep, and it's able to survive a hit from the other thing and then put that to sleep, and then just rock slide Instruct with Oranguru and Sudowoodo. Best thing. I just enjoy it.
Instruct and Spread is fantastic. That's that harking back to that 2016. This is
and I think the reason I do that as well is because there's a chance to flinch with so there's flinch beyond it being fake out or waterfall or anything like that. It's just did you enjoy those rocks? Here they are again with these wee fan Orangurus. Do it again. I didn't think I would like Oranguru. Now I think it's amazing.
See, in when bank opens and stuff, and there's going to be a few more things I want to do, play around with my team a bit more, see what I've got. One of the things I'm interested in playing around with is the Passimian. Yeah. Just because it's really fast and bulky, and obviously it's going to get pumped in a Trick Room, but it's kind of got that. I feel like it could do something. I mean, that ability to copy what your partner's got when it goes down, it might have something. I mean,
Protean.
Protein would be a good one, but I mean,
like protein slacking is still really quite cool as well.
I mean, just off the top of my head, my first thought would be to like have something useful explode.
Yeah.
Like you just no, seriously, like you're Passimian, you protect your first turn, that your other Pokemon explodes, then you get whatever its ability is.
5 shield is
Think about Glalie. Mega Glalie.
Oh.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's a
but it's
waste of a
not
mega.
refrigerate.
Yeah.
Well, you won't get its Mega because it's not available in 2017 for the VGC.
Yeah.
Well,
But
you
like
could
when,
get it,
when
but you won't
Bag
be able to
comes
run it.
in,
A Pokemon I
you
know
were
is
just
like could
doing
actually.
doubles in general.
Well, if you could teach Greninja, well, for example, if Greninja's not legal, but if Greninja or something else with Protean could learn Explosion,
Yeah.
then you could like do that move because you explode into them and then they've got
I don't
that.
know what gets explosion. No, I
It
mean
doesn't have to be
protein
that. It could be
Geodude.
like Memento or something. One of those ones that you
Well, like
faint.
that Pokemon that's the Kecleon.
Kecleon, yeah,
that gets protein.
that's a Protean.
But if you had
it's also not in the Alola deck.
Memento on Whimsicott. Whimsicott can lower whatever the threat is on the field in doubles.
Yep.
Whimsicott uses Memento, sods off. Diglett gets Memento as well, I think. Diglett sods off. It's only got like Arena Trap and
Tangled hair.
well, yeah.
Speed when it gets hit.
So there's a lot of things that you could actually give Passimian.
You know what I've actually found quite interesting to use in battle, weirdly, is Adrenaline Orb.
Oh yeah.
Now, Adrenaline Orb, in when you're playing the game, you use it to trigger SOS battles, but if you use it as a battle item, which is held, if your attack is dropped, you get a boost in speed. So it's kind of like it gives you the option to put like Defiant or something on, or like Competitive or something like that on a Pokemon that doesn't normally have it. So I was playing around with it on my like Marowak, just because I knew that it would be like someone's going to try and intimidate that, because it's running Fit Club, which is ridiculous because it doubles its attack anyway. But being slightly faster means it could be more of an offensive threat. Because
That is a good idea.
there's not a lot. I mean, there are the occasional things. Unless it's an Ultra Beast, there's not a lot of fast Pokemon out there. They're all kind of middle of the road. So if you get a boost off, like if you get a +1 in anything with decent speed, you'll probably outspeed everything else. And even at -1, I mean, Flare Blitz off of like a fully invested Marowak onto something silly like your Celesteela, for example. It doesn't matter if you've turned to Leech Seed, you've just been wiped out. Because that's like, I've yet to see a EV spread that will survive that. It just hits so damn hard.
Talking about Marowak, 15 out of the 51 teams had a Marowak.
Yep.
Which, on one hand, it doesn't seem like a lot, like 15 out of 51, that doesn't seem a lot, but that's 15 players that decided I'll use Marowak.
That's almost half. Well, I say almost half. It's like a quarter, around about there.
See, Josh is
it's a big
laughing
number.
because Craig's got what's left, the container that he had his chips in.
He could just put it down on the table
Yeah.
behind
He
him,
slipped
but
though in that
I like
bit of
that he-
cellophane plastic with the tomato sauce and it landed on my knee.
that's fine though. You
A
can
po-
just, wash your
A
jeans.
Pokemon I know now that I think it could probably work is Weavile could actually make it because I don't know if it actually learns low kick, but that could work for
Yeah,
steals,
it does.
fake out knockoff. I don't know
Things
if it
that
gets
are
it or
naturally
sure.
fast
Yeah,
are
it
going
gets
to see
knockout.
like. I mean, if you're running anything
Knockout,
fast,
knockoff.
you want to make sure
Yeah.
you're trying to take out anything that's trick rooming. But like, there's things that are bulky and still fairly fast, so you get a lot of
Comfy.
options.
Like
Comfy is my new hero.
We've been talking about that. I
Yeah.
mean, we all saw the video with the Snorlax just using like the Gluttony Snorlax using Belly Drum
Yep.
yeah.
with the Figgy Berry, which activates earlier than it should. Back up to full health, floral healing. There you've got a Snorlax that's now ready to rumble. It's got +6 true, rock slide,
Yep.
easy peasy, crunch to take out any threats it can't hit with return. You're sorted, and Comfy can keep healing it.
And itself,
Yeah,
which is good.
and I'm thinking that okay, you might not be able to stop fake outs happening and things like that, but you're not actually going to be that bothered. So long as you can plan around it, you can
Yeah.
try and predict what's going to get faked out. Things are really going to struggle against you.
One thing that I need to see in the game, because I've only done it on Showdown, is that when the Psychic Terrain's up, it doesn't stop moves that. Well, I don't know if it stops moves that have priority, but it stops the priority boost from Prankster and from Triage. So that in itself, it's like, oh, that could be an issue, but Comfy's already so fast that it still goes ahead of everyone else. So I didn't actually notice the first time I played that it was still up, because Comfy was still outspeeding everything else on the team. So I thought, keep it a bit bulky, focus on that speed there, and then just start healing everybody, because you've got a lot of options for that. And aromatherapy is God, because everybody and their granny is trying to toxic everything, because burn lost its effectiveness. It doesn't do as much damage per turn, so toxic is how you're going to really build that up. So if you don't have a way of dealing with that on something stolly,
my way of dealing with that, I think I told you, I said it the last time, is that people would try and burn or toxic golem if they didn't have anything that could knock it out in one. And Alolan Golem would just have Facade, because that was galvanised Facade, which ends up hitting so hard that they invested.
Ridiculous.
And I thought that is really good, and it's the kind of thing where now we've got Alolan Marowak Golem kind of face off, because Golem like that, when it's invested within its adamant nature, it depends what kind of a nature, but adamant's your best one, I think, hits it so hard. And it's just, it's kind of a neutral hit against Marowak, not Marowak, sorry, because Marowak's got the lightning rod, but it really depends though. It's almost like, right, is Bone Meringue going to happen? Am I going to protect you? But if it's been statused like that, anything that comes in is taking a massive hit from it. So it would be brilliant if I had Marowak and Golem under a Trick Room side by side, because then I would be hitting things like with either Facade or Flare Blitz. I don't think anything's going to survive.
Yeah, I know, it's pretty ridiculous.
Like, I know I've one-shotted the Celestelia with Facade on Showdown, no, but thing is, it happened to just be the right moment. Someone switched it in. Maybe it was defensively built.
Well,
I
it's
don't know.
still only
Bang,
it's neutral in from electric because of the flying type. So, it's bulky, but it's still not the toughest. Talking about Ultra Beast, the one that I was surprised to see a lot of use of there was Kartana.
Yeah,
Kartana.
I think it was the most used one.
Yeah, it was. It was right up there.
It has got 181 base attack.
Aye, and it's still really fast as well.
Yeah.
And bulky as well. Defensively,
all
it's
the
high.
Ultra
like
Beast, there's something that's very 70s Doctor Who about them.
They are all really.
They all look
surreal.
like they've been designed for some really old science fiction thing, like Doctor Who, and it's just mental. But it's like Kartana does look like someone has gone down to the shed and made it. And
it's smaller than I expected. Because I haven't. This was the first time I'd actually seen one moving, because I've still not got around to catching the last of the Ultra Beasts. So I was looking at it, I was like, you're awfully wee. Obviously Celesteela I've seen is massive, so it's just really surreal to see them up against each other.
It just looks like the Nostromo from Alien.
Aye.
It's just a spaceship with a mouth.
It has Karatana's got some interesting moves though. I think I see that there. One of the ones was Sacred Sword, which with people with the amount of boosting and like defense upgrades and stuff like that people are doing, Secret Sword could see a lot of use of that, or Sacred Sword. But we've only had one major, so now the bar has been set. People know what the top guys are running, what's winning, and what to deal with. So I'm hoping that the next one, because I think we're still in Europe. I've not checked the dates on this, and so I'll try and remember and post up a link in the description. But as far as I'm aware, it's going to go through Europe and then round and end. I don't know if it's touring or if it's just going to visit different places randomly. I'll try and find that information out. But yeah, I'm interested to see where the next one will be, to see how people will react to the teams we've got, like what's going to stay, what's going to continue on.
Well, that's what I'm just thinking there.
How it's going to affect the team's rebuild as well, because what you'll see is the more popular things people are running, is the more we'll have to
be run to it. Now that's what I'm thinking. Anyone who's listening thinking, "Wow, I've got to get a Kartana," you don't have to. It's mainly seeing what you can take the things that you like and make them work. And I think maybe not so much it's not a case of anyone liking it. I don't know any of it. I thought it was weird. Araquanid.
Yeah.
Seeing that being used, and I'm thinking people are saying it's actually really quite strong.
Welcome back.
And it doesn't look like it should be, but then I'm thinking about its typing and its abilities. I'm thinking, you know what? Yeah, it's reasonably capable out there, because as a water type, it doesn't have to really fear fire, even though it's a bug type.
Immune to burns as well.
Yeah. So it can
is.
actually keep people on their toes the way I've acted. And I don't know that much about it, in fairness. Don't have the games. So I can't
soon. I think a lot of people are probably going to get them at Christmas. So
yeah,
in January is when we'll see probably a lot more people coming back down here. So we'll get a lot more teams and more battles going.
I certainly hope so, because it'd be good to see what
yeah, definitely the continued adventures of it, trying to find capture software or capture hardware, so we can actually have some visuals for you.
Yeah, we might as well say to everyone as well about the DS.
So Miles Turbo Cheese's regular kindly donated us his old new 3DS. However, it's at the newest software, so if anybody has a new 3DS, but has older software on it,
Sean Ketchum has frozen.
Yeah, Sean's frozen over the door. But if your software version happens to be below 9 or 10, give me a shout. I might be interested in stealing your 3DS for you.
And hopefully anyone who's listening to the podcast, it was something we spoke about, but it would be excellent to do like a Wonder Lock or something where we're all playing.
Ideas
Once we all
on
get to know the game, that would be brilliant.
If you want to drop us ideas on what you want to hear us talking about, or hopefully eventually playing, give us a bash.
Usually, like
feedback soon and all that.
I've done it before where I've mentioned people's names and I've tagged them on Facebook, but if I think a little shout out to someone I know who likes Nuzlocks, like Michael Beaton, Kyle Turpey, they all enjoy Nuzlocke. I think they'd love to see us going in kind of blind with a Wonder Lock. And I've said, look, if it was us four, myself, Robert and Josh and Craig, if we all decided, right, we'll Wonder Lock 4 things, we're not allowed any substitutions, let's see if we can get through this game. And once the whatever, oh no, CJ's been far too saucy. You can't see it, people listening.
CJ's provocatively eating a sausage, and
isn't he ever?
Josh just can't cope.
Oh no,
Josh, do you need a minute? He's dabbed in excitement.
We are number 1, but every time
CJ puts a sausage in his mouth, Josh gets uncomfortable. That's enough of the memes.
So the Wonder Lock thing I thought would be really good, because if we actually are in charge of 4 of us playing the game, and when one of us is lost in the Wonder Lock, I think that'd be brilliant. Or 6 of us, whatever. But as people go by,
we'll sort something. Even if
get
like
to a point where we've all been eliminated from it.
Yeah. And then play Pokemon on that. That's how we'll fucking do it. That's probably how we're going to do it, to be fair. But, it depends on how the Switch is going to work.
Yeah, the other thing...
anyway, we are here to stay.
Right.
And what we got?
Well, it's not kind of to do with team building. Like, what I done last year with team building was... Like, I take what was popular, but see, like, what moves were, like, ideas were popular, but try it with something else. Like, you know how... Like, I tried out in Showdown and never really got one. It's Clefable, I believe. The one that evolves into...
No, Clefairy ain't a Clefable.
Yeah, Clefairy with Eevee and Follow Me and
Friend Guard, was it?
Yeah, and Mega Zard Y, no X, with Dragon Dance worked.
I've seen a couple of people running those Orinoco, the birds. Oricorio. Like, they just have like fucking Dragonite, just be like, Dragon Dance. And then Oricorio goes, me too! It's like, shit, suddenly there's like 2 of them. Like, fuck. So I just hazed them. But still, I look at it and I just look at what I've been doing is I'm looking at what people are using and thinking, what's the easiest way to counter that? Crobat.
Yeah.
Crobat's the easiest way. It's got Taunt, it's got fucking Quick Guard, it's got a shit ton of utility. We're going to do a video later, it's not this week, but in a later episode I'm going to try and focus on like Pokemon usage, like cores and things like that. But utility is basically where I love, like utility Pokemon are how I love it, and Crobat is a fantastic example of that one. It's got a lot of great ability, even though it doesn't have any of the moves like Tailwind from Oras and stuff. It still has things like, like I say, it's still got Taunt, still got Haze,
super fun,
and it's fast. The base 130 speed means it's outspeeding pretty much everything out there. So Super Fang's a tutor move, so you don't get that either. Because I wanted it for Super Fang. Yeah. But you want to run Nature's Madness on one of the Tapus for that, which is still fair enough. I mean, knocking half of something like a Celesteela or anything else that's managed to set up on you is a good shout. But anyway, on that note, I think I'm going to wrap up the now because my tea is cold and it's all my fault. But thanks for listening, everybody, and you guys want to say goodbye?
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Sorted.
Catch you later.
Now, my system will have a fart out while I try and hit the stop button. It is, it's literally, it's
Thank
panicking because I've got like 3
amazing image.